Hi everyone, it's Amy, one of the comm coaches, and today I would like to touch on visual routines with you all, both at home and in your classroom. So this applies to teachers that have young children, growing children at home, and then also once we get to the classroom, that when we model our expectations for our kids through visual schedules, because of them not being able to read words yet, when we really lay out the expectations for them and show them with visuals, it's the ultimate form of assertiveness. So by that I mean when we're assertive and we make sure that our expectations are communicated clearly and we stay in a good routine and practice over and over again with our young children, things do start to change. The environment will start to change. We cannot expect for children to know or understand what to do unless we repeatedly show them. So our terms like, you should know better, how many times have we been through this? The answer always is, we've been through it a lot, many times, but we have to just continue to practice with our kids, model the behavior that we want them to use in the classroom appropriately, but also it really starts at home. So what I did here was just do a couple really simple ones, and you can be as detailed as you need depending on what you feel the needs of your children are at home and at school. The more detailed, the better. I just put a little picture, a rise and shine. Let's get dressed. Don't forget to eat your breakfast and brush your teeth. When we put those pictures for our children in the morning, first thing, put a picture of them getting dressed on the refrigerator, including these. Picking up their backpack, remember your lunchbox. The more detailed that we can have the visual aids be, the better for our children. And depending on how young they are, they're going to need more and more cues. So if morning and transition times are particularly hard at home, if kids wake up and they're kind of a bear in the morning, the more that we can set the expectations for them to get out the door and start the day right, the better. And as we all know, that varies from day to day with all of us, depending on how much sleep we get, what dynamics are going on in the home, and then of course that carries over to school as well. So patience and practice are our most important. Really, if we go by this, the MAP, model procedures and expectations for our children. Like I said before, they're not going to know what to do. They've only been on this planet for a couple of years. We really have to show them and continue to encourage them and make sure that they know when they're on the right track by us celebrating those routines that they're getting indoctrinated in. So M for model your procedures. A, add visuals. These are just some examples of what I've done. You can do it any way that you want. And P is practice, practice, practice. Like with anything in life, I had a teacher say to me one time, practice makes permanent. And I love that because it's so true. We don't need to be perfect, that's for sure, thank goodness. But we have to practice things, and we have to practice them with children to get them indoctrinated and get them comfortable. So I have limited wall space at home. That's why I'm scooting around on the floor. So here I've put a little arrival chart. I've put the children, let's see, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Okay. I put the children coming in the morning, how we welcome them, and they're lining up. Just a little reminder about let's wear our masks, social distance, and be responsible. As many visual aids around this as we can. A little reminder to put our backpacks away, and every single morning we may need to go through this instead of things being thrown on the floor. That's okay. Our morning circle time, just reminding them with visual aids and visual cues that now it's time for that. Down here, we have some cleanup time, just a little built-in reminder for a bathroom break, and of course, always encouraging them to wash their hands, so important. And also we need to model that by showing them we're wearing our masks, washing our hands, and being responsible. A reminder to line up. Line up times a lot of times cause a lot of conflict. So when we show them, we put our arms down like this. We walk in a straight line like this. We don't push. Instead of just saying don't push and walking feet. Let's show them what that means. If kids have a particularly hard time, let's assign a line leaner and maybe a caboose, someone to be first and someone to bring up the rear, and alternate that throughout the day or the week, depending on how challenging it is for certain children. Here I've got the let's eat together and nap time, so that kids kind of know what's coming. If they get upset with transitions, which is very common and happens to all of us with our children at home and at school, let's give them some time. If you want to put them going from top to bottom and hang them on a string and maybe flip them over as things happen during the day, or assign a child to watch the visual routines and schedule just to keep everyone on track. That's really a fun job. Kids really get into that. And then again, the more routines based we are with them, not in a rigid way, but just in a way to where they feel safe and know what's coming next. This is not to make them rigid and obsessive compulsive about a schedule, but kids yearn for schedule. And as we know, all of our brains are pattern seeking. So we will either seek out the pattern of chaos or the pattern of calm and, okay, I know what's coming next. I can trust it. And look at my teacher. She's modeling this great behavior for me. Look at my mom or my dad. They said that, we were going to pack lunches this morning, put on our shoes and socks and go. And now here we are and we're doing it. So the more consistent that we can be, the more that children can trust that as well. So now we're going to move around one more time again because of my limited wall space at home. And I have an afternoon routine here. And the reason that I'm sitting on the floor and I have them low is because we want things to be at eye level when we want children to refer to them. If we put things up way up high and they have to look up like this, it's a little bit overwhelming for them, and I don't know if it would stick as much. So our little afternoon routine, we have some circle time, cleanup time after activities. Don't forget to push in your chair. Little reminders like that all around the classroom. Outside playtime, so that they know, again, when it's time to line up, what's coming next and what they can expect. And then I just had a little short thing for dismissal. Of course, wash your hands. End of the day, grab your backpack. Little things like that. Again, if you want to add 10 more steps in your classroom or at home, you certainly can. But really, the most important thing to remember about the routine is just like our routines as adults. People lay out expectations for us and we lay them out for ourselves too, and then we have to try to rise to the occasion. When we really trust our children and let them know that we believe in them and that we can do the routine and we're all going to get through it together, the more helpful it is. And I had one more thing to show you. I've had several teachers request these again for the beginning of the year. This is a 1-minute timer, but they come in 2 minutes, 5 minutes. If you want to make it a little game during transitions, if once your school year is well underway and kids aren't as overwhelmed by transitions, but you want to make it a game, you could say, okay, we're in the block and art area. Let's see if we can get everything cleaned up and put away in a minute. This is a 1-minute timer. Again, like I said, you can get them in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however you think it would work most appropriately in your class. These little visual cues and reminders can be fun. They can help ease the stress of transition. Just a thought, there's a million ways you could do that. A million ways you could do the visuals. You could use pictures of the children that are actually in the class doing different things at different centers. That would be really cute too. So use your creativity and see how it turns out. I think that you'll really be happy. And again, nothing's a baked cake. It doesn't happen overnight. But if we remember to model our procedures for them and lay out the expectations, always add as many visuals as possible. Children are very visual, and because they can't read words quite yet, it's very helpful. And practice, practice, practice. I hope that was helpful. Again, this is all part of our assertiveness, our voices being used to let people know what we expect of them, and then them too coming back to us with their assertiveness and their empowerment when they're getting the job done. So there's our map. Here's our visual routines. I hope all of that was helpful. And as always, I wish you well. Have a great day.